Hello and welcome back. So this week we're going to go over why you're losing sales because you're using the same pitch for every single customer. And in any industry, it's fatal, right? Every buyer values something different: time, money, recognition, or control. I learned that lesson years ago when I was driving from optical store to optical store, selling frames right out of the trunk of my car. First it was a Mini Cooper, then a Hyundai Sonata. Back then, I thought selling was about knowing your product. Turns out, it's really about knowing your buyer. Once I figured this out, my close rate didn't just improve, it absolutely blew up. When I first started in sales, I gave every single buyer the same pitch. I didn't know any better. I talked about quality, features, price, the hinges, temple length, the usual, right? But not everyone cares about those things. They just don't care about the same things. In eyewear, for example, the luxury boutiques didn't care about price. They cared about exclusivity. So I'd change it and say, this collection is yours alone. Nobody else in your area can carry it if you do. The independent opticians, they cared about turn rate. How fast are those frames going to flip right off their board? So I'd say our best sellers move 4 times a year in stores just like yours. And the big chain accounts, they wanted marketing support and margin stability. Again, different scenarios, same frames, same me, but completely different pitches. So here's the psychology behind that, and this applies to every single kind of sale. Every buyer has a leverage point, that one thing that they care about more than anything else. Some value their time, some value money and margins, some want status, and some want simplicity, okay? The mistake most reps make is they lead with what they value, not what the buyer values. I used to get all hyped up about frame design and brand story, but half the time my buyer just wanted to know, is this going to sell fast? Because I don't want it on my board. I need turn rate. Same thing goes in tech, real estate, insurance, SaaS, whatever you sell. If you're pitching your favorite feature and not their top priority, you're talking to yourself. And that is a major problem. So how do you figure out what matters most to them? Simple. Ask better questions. Try these. 1, what's most important to you when you're choosing a new product or partner? 2, what frustrates you the most about what you're using right now? And 3, do you care more about results, speed, or cost? Their answer is literally going to give you your roadmap to close the sale. In my optical days, if a buyer said everything just sits on my board, I knew to sell turn rate. If they said everyone's carrying the same thing, I sold exclusivity, right? The same thing applies if you're selling software, services, or consulting. The best reps don't pitch. Again, they diagnose. We've spoken about this in the past. They uncover the leverage point. Then they align that to their offer. So let's put it into real world terms. If you're selling to a CEO, lead with time and results. If you're selling to a CFO, lead with ROI and efficiency. And if you're selling to a frontline user, lead with the simplicity and ease of use. Different buyers, different leverage points. When I learned to flex my pitch like that, stores started seeing me as a partner and not just a sales rep at another vendor. And when you do that in your industry, your prospects will start trusting you the exact same way. The straight truth is, sales isn't about your product. It's about what your product means to the buyer, the end result of doing business with you. To one, it's more time. To another, it's peace of mind. To another, it's growth and recognition. But once you uncover this leverage point, you don't have to hard sell anymore. You need to stop chasing the sale and start attracting it. So before your next meeting or phone call, stop rehearsing your pitch. Start asking, what does this person truly value? And how do I get that information from them? Because the moment you start to sell that, you will never compete on price again. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe, share it with a teammate or your sales crew. And remember, stop selling harder, start selling smarter. We're going to see you next Thursday at 12:15 Eastern Time. And as always, make the calls and ask the questions. Take care.